So my name is Santosh. Overall, I've got an experience of 13 years. I'm into training for last 3 years. Uh, I've got around seven certifications in Azure, and there are other certifications I hold for related to cybersecurity domains, penetration testing, red teaming. I also hold a CCNA and a little bit on service now, etc. Right? So in this course content that we'll be looking at, yeah, it's a Terraform course in Azure. So Terraform will use Terraform code in Azure. We'll deploy and then we'll see how the code behaves. What are the nuances that you have to keep in mind? Whatever what are the best practices that you have to keep in mind when you code, right? um, I would like to set this expectation. The objective of this course is learning Terraform, right? Not learning Azure, right? So just keep that in mind, because Azure, there are so many things out there. For example, in Azure administration, there are a lot of things there. But we will be the focus of the course will be on the Terraform code, and we will use Azure as a playground to deploy the resources, various resources, and understand how the code behaves, how you can deploy the code, etc. So in this overall course content, we'll be looking at, to start with, we'll be looking at introduction to Terraform. So just a basic, lay of, we'll just lay the foundation of what is Terraform, why Terraform, etc. Then we look at what is Terraform state management, how the state is managed. We'll understand what is first of all meant by state, and then we look at basic deployment concepts. So management of dependencies, etc., etc. Like we'll look at also, parallelly we look at all the Terraform documentation that we have, so that it gives you a better clarity of what you're really looking at, right? So we'll be looking at a concept, and we'll be also looking at a Terraform documentation, right? So, for example, if I'm, for example, session one, I think I'll be taking you through all these content, but you'll also have some documentation here, so that you can directly look at and understand, okay, what are the Terraform editions that you have, like cloud, the local binary, etc. Right? So that is what we'll be looking at in parallel. Um, we will look at the logic of some of the programming. I mean, if you're little familiar with the programming language, at least at a basic level, then I think certain concepts will be very clear to you, like what is count, what is for each, etc. So we'll be looking at little bit deeper into that, and understand how these really turn out as a code deployment. We'll also look at the variables, how we can use variables, the local variables, what is the difference between locals and variables, etc. We look at data sources, what is data sources, why data sources, do you really need them, etc. We look at provisioners, we look at Terraform registry, we look at how to integrate the Terraform cloud with GitHub. First of all, we'll understand what is Terraform cloud, and then we will integrate with GitHub, and then we'll try to run the code, right? So we're going to run the code from local, but it's going to run in Terraform cloud instance, right? So we look at Terraform functions, very interesting. Lifecycle meta argument we look at Terraform modules, the dry principle, don't repeat yourself principle. Industry standard thing that's used is Terraform modules. We'll look at how better we can reuse the code. That is important. You write once and you use that many times. That is the concept of modules. We look at that. We look at Terraform workspace, both local and of course cloud. And finally, we look at what is Terraform cloud. So there are around 45 plus lab demonstrations we have. So it's around, I think, 50 or 47, I think. So we'll start with a storage account, virtual machine, load balancer, app gateway. Uh, then we'll see, app service, SQL database, uh, seeding the SQL database, right? Uh, yeah, so these are, and we look at a mini project. I think I have a mini project over here. So the mini project is all about, we'll be deploying a kind of complete app solution. There is going to be an app, there's going to be a database, there's going to be a couple of VMs, app VM, database VM, etc. And we are going to deploy the application and let the application access the database, everything through Terraform code, right? So this is the app overview. There's going to be a database, there's going to be a SQL database, there's going to be a SQL statement, there's going to be a .NET app, and yeah, so this is what we'll be doing. Right? So there's going to be two VMs, two NSGs, network security group, connectivity over Azure Bastion, storage account, so it's a combination of all the options, all the features that we have learned in Terraform, like count, for each, for expression, conditions, modules, module within a module, so etc. So so that is an overall overview of the course content. So so the objective, my see the way I train people is you understand the code, you understand the concept. That is very, very important. Okay. If you understand the concept well, you can do anything. You can write the exam, you can clear the exam, you can clear the interview, etc., etc. And of course, you can upskill yourself well and you can perform well in your job. Okay. So the focus is understand the concept, understand how things are working, why things are working, keep questioning why. You'll have the answers. Okay. So that is what I would all strongly recommend. That is how I take these all the trainings, right? Focus is on understanding the code, understanding the concept. Not able to understand, we'll try one time, two times, we'll try three times, and ensure that you get the concept. No, will work in a different way. Okay, so that is overall the uh, you know the course content. So let me show you a session content. The session content is going to be like this. This notes I'll give you. This notes I prepared recently. This notes I'll give you. We look at a concept. We look at understand what the sub the bullet points are. We'll evaluate the. I'll explain the bullet points in detail, and etc. So first, a couple of sessions maybe we'll have the basics running. Um, from session two onwards, I think we'll be looking at the code direct. We'll dive into the code itself. And each discussion will have the documentation of direct documentation of the Terraform. So we'll refer that and we'll come back and we'll just verify, okay, that's what it is, that's how we are defining, etc. Right? So for example, when we create a storage account, we look at what is the documentation, what are the optional and required arguments we need to pass to create a storage account, right? Uploading a blob, some of the important points that you need to consider, etc., etc. So this is going to be our session two. I'm just giving you a taste of how the session is going to be, and there are notes you have, there are documentation you have. You can, if the objective is completing the certification, yes, you can do that. If the objective is to switch roles, yes, everything is covered here. Okay, so yeah, I will just pause here and take some questions from you.
Hi, Santosh.
Hey, hi.
Hey, Santosh, this is Sai here. Okay, I just need a couple of questions
Hi.
regarding the Terraform. Okay, so basically,
Hmm.
this course requirement is, like developer knowledge, or like, it's like, infra knowledge. How is it? Because this you basically is in provision set, right? Terraform, everything is provision set, right?
Hmm. So developer means you're talking about programming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, little bit knowledge would be helpful. But see, not a recommended, not a mandatory, but little bit knowledge is required. I mean, just little bit, like basic, what is variable, what is for loop, that's it. If you
Okay.
don't know, I understand some of them you might know. I'll explain you with the help of a Python script. I also know Python. I can help you with the Python code and make you
Okay.
understand a little bit. So maybe we'll start. Will first session will start with that. Maybe I'll explain you what is definitely what is a function, what is a for loop, what is data type, what is a string, how do you substring, what is that? How do you, uh, I mean, how do you just truncate a string, a bigger string into a chunk? What is a list? What is a set? All these things we look at in the first or one or two sessions with a simple programming language. Like we will use Python. Understand the point is not to help, not to make you understand Python, but make you understand the concept behind it. What is the data type? What is for loop, etc.
Okay. So the other
Python is
question.
just a tool that I'm using. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
fine because see, I mean, just thing is, I mean, the programming. I mean, as you see, I can see you're mentioning about the variables and the global and everything, right? So that's the reason. Just I'm just trying to understand. Okay, like I mean, how much the course need? Like I mean, the developer. I mean, the basically said programming knowledge. Okay, that's what I was looking. Okay.
A little bit of not much. You just need basic. We'll
Okay.
stick to the basic. We'll not go deeper at all. Just you need to understand how you look at when you look at the Terraform code, somebody else has written or you're going to write, what are the
Mm-hmm.
best practice you can follow, right? And how things work. That's what we'll be looking at. So basic we'll cover anyways.
Okay.
Depending upon uh, teams
Okay.
the batch requirement, we'll go with that. First one
Okay.
or two sessions we'll go with the uh, programming concepts a little bit, and then we'll move on to the Terraform code.
Okay. So the other question I have is, I mean, this will cover this Terraform course covers like it's a beginner or it's a completely like it's kind of a like covering the kind of a like certification course kind of a thing you're covering here. I mean
Yeah,
this.
certification course, yes. That's what I said. Certification course, yes. It is going to cover. Yeah.
Okay. So and whereas like I mean Terraform we can use for AWS and also like Azure, right? So is it like we'll be talking about the difference? I mean like I mean how it get difference on the Terraform on the Azure with the
No,
AWS?
Azure will be using Azure to deploy the code. And will deploy the resources in Azure
Okay.
using Terraform code. Yeah.
But AWS will be different. I mean, like, how is it? I mean, the Terraform code, which is
There
we
is no
written.
difference. There is no difference when it comes to Terraform code. Terraform code works the same way for across the cloud solution providers. But the blocks will vary. Like there will be different. The block name for AWS will be different. The block name for Azure will be different. That's it. The concept is same. If you know as AWS as well, then I think you can really code in Terraform with what we are learning. We're going to learn.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
my other question is like, I mean, like, how long this course duration is? I mean, is it like, how many hours? I mean, the course. I
It's going to
mean,
be 20 to 25 hours, I think. Yeah, it's going to be 20 to 25 hours. But yeah, we'll see. There's no, usually I give a number to people, but I don't stick with that. Sometimes it could extend, sometimes it completes within the set time frame because people might have doubts or repeat of concepts I've seen. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's
okay.
20 to 25 is what range I'm giving you. Yeah.
Okay. So, is going to be a daily class or is a weekend class? Like, how is it? I mean, like,
Not yet decided for myself because I'm thinking to be daily 1 hour and let the weekend be there for you guys to learn and understand practice.
okay.
But I'm yet to think about it. I'll just let the team know. But mostly it's going to be weekdays. Yeah,
So
just to
basically,
keep it simple.
you will be teaching from the provisioning perspective completely, right? The Terraform, like, how is the provisioning happening on the cloud perspective, everything, right? You will be covering a to I mean, A to and Z, right? That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, can you elaborate the question? What do you mean by provisioning perspective means what? I mean, I'm not getting into
I
that
mean, like
actually.
the Terraform, like I mean, what are the like I mean, from the basic level to like I mean, yeah, like
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah.
cloud.
Mhm.
So everything
Correct,
will
correct.
be
Sure.
covering, and
Yes.
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Everything we covered. But remember, guys, see, I'll be covering, but you have to practice. If you don't practice and you miss the time or you understand, right? So you'll have to go back and start from
Yes,
the
yes, I
beginning. Okay,
understand
got it.
completely.
So side by side, practice. I'll tell you how to practice, what and all things you should follow to practice. I mean, there is some you have to create Azure free account, etc. But you have to practice. That's the only way to understand things and be good at it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Mm. Okay, so I think Ram had some questions. So list of projects. Projects I've just shared with you, Ram. So that's one. Interview, everything is going to be covered with just understanding concept. Don't expect anything from me from, okay, what are the important questions in interview? What are the sample questions? Please learn the concept A to Z. That's it. Okay. You're once for all, you learn everything. That's it. You're done for any situation. Okay. That's my view. Okay. So any certification that I've cleared, I've not looked at any dumps, any interview, every interview I've cleared. Whatever I've come last 3 4 years, everything I've cleared. Okay, so I'm not trying to show off myself. Please don't take me that way. But I'm just saying the power of learning, power of understanding things, and just applying it wherever you need. It's just simple. Okay, but yeah, you will have to put some efforts initially. That is required. That will be there. But yeah, that's that's the first query. Second query, I've also explained that, okay, this course will be helpful for you to crack the examination. Don't worry. And I'll also give you examination tips as well. There are some tips in sense what type of questions. I mean, it's coming from the blueprint. I'm not giving. It's coming from the Terraform exam blueprint. What type of questions you can expect in the exam, so that you'll be little bit prepared there. It's the course is going to be focused on Azure. We'll build AKS clusters. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that is the query
Yeah, few questions, Santosh. So,
from yeah. Sure.
can you hear me?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Like Terraform, I'm completely from development and DevOps background. So, writing, considering the Terraform, it's more like writing some declarative or some programming stuff, right? That one
Mm,
perspective, right, to develop the IASC code, basically to provision the
exactly. That's
infrastructure. That is one side of it. And administration standpoint,
uh-huh.
right? Maintain the Terraform administration standpoint, like I mean, see, comparing to Ansible, right? We are the developers, we are developing the playbooks and all, but there is a separate team who actually maintains the infrastructure of Ansible, like migrating from old tower to Ansible AAP. Right now we are migrating. So there is a separate team. So like considering like that role in the Terraform, do we have
Mhm.
such kind of thing? Like we completely focusing on development, right? I mean provisioning and developing um,
Mhm.
the scripting and all, right? So
Mhm.
administration standpoint for a Terraform, do you cover anything? That or at least we should be know something that we need to work with the platform team about the Terraform.
See, administration is, see, what I understand is, see, if you are a developer, I mean, if you're developing, then you will be developing the modules for the infrastructure team to use. So you'll have to maintain your code, right? You'll have to keep testing the code. You'll have to have more examples, more documentation around it. That's what I see. Okay, if that is what
Hmm.
your question is. Right? So there, if, let's say you belong to a platform automation team, so you'll be maintaining these modules, etc. Right? You just let the teams use your modules. You'll be a central point where people can ask you, people can get the code from you and then clone the repo or copy the code and then change the options and then they run it.
Hmm.
You have to maintain the code. In the sense, maintain the code means you understand that you have to keep testing it frequently. Use cases you have to. For example, if somebody is building a VM, so and they also build a load balancer, so the choice for you will be, okay, should I also include module for load balancer as well, or should I just keep it just a plain VM? So that's up
Hmm.
to you how you can think. Either way,
Hmm.
okay, either way possible. But you have to have a very, very good documentation of your code. Like you need to let the audience know because you are the platform automation team. You know the code well. The team that's consuming your code, utilizing your code will not know exactly what is going on, right? They'll have to go through each line by line, which I've done. I've done personally. I've done. In fact, I've modified the platform automation team's code itself for our own requirements. So we have to modify. So that also scenarios are there. That also you have to
Mm.
maybe you might encounter. Let's say they have included a VM with domain join operations. You don't need domain join operations, so you have to comment out all the code or remove the all code, and you'll have to work. So if your platform automation team, yes, then you'll have to maintain your code, you'll have to document the code well, you have to understand a little bit, you have to plan your code in such a way that it caters to almost all the audiences, right? Because if you look at when I say all, some will just require a piece of code, some will require, okay, I need A, but A plus B is also good, and some will say, I don't need B, give me an option to take off B from A so that I can just use A, right? And somebody will say, okay, I need A plus B plus C, right? That's third category. Fourth category will say, I need A plus B, but I don't need C, so take the C off. So you need to know, are you going to have separate code for A, B, C, or have a very good, the conditions so that if whoever is asking, they can just use it,
So,
right?
I mean, I saw the course content. So are we like integrating with any repo that, I mean, when I executing some samples of Terra TF code, it is installing the plugins directly from the Terraform registry, right? So are you gonna explain like
Mhm.
some sample
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yes, yes,
like
I'll explain
JFrog
that.
or, yeah.
I'll
So
explain that.
industry,
Terraform Cloud is there.
industry,
Terraform Cloud is there. We'll integrate the Terraform Cloud with our GitHub repo. We'll try to use both CLI based workflow as well as version control based workflow. Right.
right?
So yeah,
Majority of
easy only.
projects are built on the GitHub basically,
It's
so we are
as good as
directly. But,
it's
yeah.
as good as your local Terraform. It's just running somewhere else. The local Terraform runs in your machine. So don't focus much on there. Okay, that okay, I need to know Terraform Cloud is different. No, it's not different. It's no different at all. It is as good as your local Terraform run, code run,
Hmm.
planning state, etc. Just that it is not in your machine, it is somewhere else. That's it. Okay. So
Yeah,
we'll be
just for
covering the
awareness.
code.
Basically. Yeah.
We'll take a
Hmm.
bit of time there, but we'll not spend much time because it's the same. I mean, when you see, you'll
Yeah,
understand what
agree.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, agree. So just for awareness, like for interview
Mhm.
standpoint, I'm completely
Mhm.
like we just started, even in project also just started. So just I'm just awareness purpose. We may take half an hour session, so it
Mhm.
would be
Okay, good, good.
like
Sure, sure.
perfect.
Sure.
Interview perspective.
Sure.
That's all. So in terms of a
Mm-hmm. Sure.
maintaining the Terraform environment, right? Like you said, we will run definitely in the local and for the lab practice and all. But in just to understand the industry perspective, right? How they maintain the Terraform? Is it like they will maintain in the cloud, Terraform whole infrastructure? Uh,
Mostly they'll maintain in GitLab, GitHub repos. They'll have modules. They'll have examples, I think, and you just call their module. Like you just call their source for your module, and that's it. That's how it works. I'll show that partially, but I can't show fully because I need to have a Terraform Cloud Enterprise server running, and I have to use that. But I'll show you. I'll explain you how this works. Okay.
Okay.
I'll
And in terms
explain
of
you how
timing,
this
you said 20 hours, right? I mean, definitely it will gonna complete within 30 days, right? I mean, I'm just asking because sometimes it ended up with 2 months or something like that. Some other sessions when I attended in the past, so just time sensitive for me. That's the reason. There
Yeah,
won't be
I
any
will
delay.
complete one. Yeah, yeah, there will be a delay. There will be a delay. Yeah, I'm sure about it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm
one or
good.
2 days, maybe I might not be available in between, just 1 or 2 days, and that too I'll try to cover that days. Maybe if 1 or 2 days I'm not there, so I'll try to maybe take that one or two within that I'll try to complete that. I mean that day. So 1 day or 2 day here and there will be off for me because I'll have to travel outside. So other than that, I think it will be regular. Max to max
Okay.
1 month. Yeah.
In terms of projects, you mentioned there is a mini project we are building at the end. After doing the
Mm.
practice concept
Yeah.
wise labs, so you are building a
Right.
one project in the Azure, right? That's you are
Mm-hmm.
showing at the end. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Mhm. So anybody else has any questions, concerns, queries, clarifications? Anybody has any questions?
So one question, Santosh, like uh, the Python you mentioned, right? So you give, there's a separate sessions for Python also is there? Like how is it?
No, no, no. Python. See, Python. I'm going to explain you the concepts using Python. Python is
Okay.
not the objective. I'm not going to let you know Python, but using that, what is that? How are you learning the concept? And we need to learn the concepts, right? That's why.
Okay.
So I'm going to use Python to explain you certain concepts, right? That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Python is just a tool. I mean, even you can do the same concepts with JavaScript or any other programming language. Python, I know. I'm just explaining you with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay. Anybody any questions? Okay, guys. So let's see in the course, and yeah, the team will communicate you the timings. Okay, and the whether it's weekday or weekend. So yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.